as this is an incident where 3 students were sent to the hospital. The school would also want this situation to not escalate, but that requires punishing Kim in some way. The parents would make a fuss if he didn't. Especially Jung's parents will not turn a blind eye when it comes to their son. They are influential and wealthy people, owning several residential complexes. They also didn't spare any financial support required by the school. The recent renovation was mostly done through their donation, and he also received money from them. There's no escaping their wrath if they find out. He desperately thinks of what to do, and comes to the conclusion that the only thing he can really do is separate Jung from the incident entirely. Kim has yet to mess with him, so his parents might be convinced to sit on the sidelines in this particular case. He rises from his seat, rushing to Kim with this idea. His hopes seem to have been crushed, however, as he sees Kim beating the snot out of Jung. He reluctantly turns away from the situation. Jung's parents be damned. If his relationship with the English teacher gets revealed, everything will be over for him. Inside the classroom, Kim gets mad that such weak people were looking down on him, noting that in the past, these guys always used to say that he was bullied so much because he was weak. But now, Jung is trembling so much, and he only just started. He lets go of Jung and sits down. Kim thinks about this, noting that once he messed with Jung, this incident is almost impossible to cover. He knows this, but if he were to choose his opponents in this revenge, he wouldn't have punched Park the moment he returned. Rather, he would have avoided all conflict and instead lived a peaceful life. But after going through a hellish life as a vegetative person, he only dreamed of revenge, and this is the result of it. There will be an uproar soon, with so many people sent to the hospital. The principal wants to make Bright Prospects High School into a prestigious one, so he would try hard to punish Kim for this incident. Even so, a lot of people witnessed what occurred, so he can't cover it up. If he can't handle this school in the first place, he won't be able to dream of the revenge he had in mind. This is only the beginning. Kim gets dragged into a meeting, and the principal talks about what he did with no signs of remorse. Considering this a heinous crime, most of the teachers agree that something must be done, even the English teacher who is having an affair. She tries to suggest expulsion, but her lover nudges her, thinking that if he gets expelled, it's over for them. He looks at Kim, who is knowingly smirking. The teacher tries to protect Kim, saying that he was the first to be bullied in the first place and that he wanted to catch them in the act. But Kim must have been unable to endure this and did what he did. Kim was a victim before he was a perpetrator. The teacher tries to rebuke this, but the principal is having none of it, shouting his full name, Kim Young-chul. The principal thinks Jung's parents won't just sit idly, so to relieve their anger, he must stamp on the perpetrating student. If he is to make this school a prestigious institution, he must maintain his ties with the powerful. He speaks, saying that he shall convene a review committee 1 week from now, and they shall decide Kim's fate in that meeting, so they all should stop spreading rumors about this. As of now, Kim will be suspended until the meeting. Kim gets up and leaves the room. While walking away, Chul follows him, saying that even with the circumstances, he tried his best, so he hopes Kim will hold his temper a bit. Kim laughs at his attitude, thinking that not long ago, he was looking down and slapping him. Kim speaks, saying that he did try his best, but it seems that he already knew that Park has been bullying students, hasn't he? He says to keep something in mind. Until the day he graduates from school, the only way he can stop him from speaking up is to try his best for his sake, regardless of the methods. Unless he shows that much attitude, he will ruin not only Chul's life but the English teacher's too. He can promise at least that. Chul bows his head in agreement. Kim thinks about him. He would have liked to destroy him now, but he is not his true goal. He can't just throw away a useful card like him, not until he lays the groundwork at this school. Chul is only a teacher, but one who wouldn't care about the means or methods just to survive. 1 week from now is the time he's been thinking and planning about for the past decade. A situation will unfold that's completely different from what they're expecting. He goes on, noting that it's been many years since he was able to walk in this alley. A shabby villa number 00, his only 50 million one house. If it weren't for his parents' insurance money, he would have been living on a monthly salary. He thinks about the time his grandma was forced to move because of the hospital bills. He felt like the world had collapsed. He is now thankful he has a place to return to. He gets inside, calling for his grandmother. but she isn't there as she is working at this hour. He remembers that this is all for their family, so being sentimental doesn't help. He goes into his room and opens a notebook. The plan will be precisely accurate. Within 2 years, they are going to conquer the surrounding areas and establish a foundation, and clean up those people's bases. But in order for that to happen, he must fulfill 3 conditions. First, personal manpower. To bring down those school violence perpetrators, he needs enough strength to face them without being pushed back. Since there's no way for him to train himself to that extent in such a short time, he needs that person. If he can win over that specific person, it will give him a significant advantage in the future. Condition 2. His future opponents are gathering immense manpower, so he must do the same with people who have the same purpose as him. In the end, people play a significant role. He is just a freshman in high school. Even if he has the perfect plan, he can't execute it. He should take the lead and find the people that he needs. And finally, the third condition is background. This problem can be solved because he has experience. He needs the background to put his plan into action, so nothing can stand in his way. And now, the only way to solve the problem with the deliberation committee is to have background, so this is his first priority. Inside a police station, a person with white hair is bashing the policeman, asking if they know who he is. One, having had enough of his constant bashing, says that this old man should shut up. The guy gets even more mad at this notion, saying that he is a 35-year-old single man. We get his name. Myeongjin Construction's oldest son, Go Changboam. He kicks around, a policeman noting that he is a dangerous person and that they will be in huge trouble if they make a mistake here. Evidently, he hit someone, causing the person to be sent to the hospital. Chang thinks about this, saying that if things go south, his opponents will definitely make a fuss about it. Recently, his father announced the commencement of the succession race for him and his brother in order to choose the most capable one to take over the business. He, who only has a high school degree, or his younger brother, who graduated from a prestigious university and also married a famous woman here 3 years ago, are able to monopolize a strong position due to that. He is doomed if his father gets a whiff of this incident. The policeman speaks to him, saying that it's his fault. As he has beaten up innocent people, they can't just let this slide. Chang vows that they were the ones who hit him first, but as there was no CCTV there, the victim's testimony can't be argued at all. He wonders what can be done, but that's when he spots a teenager sitting in a nearby chair who says that he is here to testify for Chang, this teenager being Kim. Kim shows the policeman undeniable proof of the situation, and it seems that Chang was right. They really hit him first. The policeman asks how he got this footage, with Kim explaining that he just happened to witness it while walking by. He thought there would be trouble due to the lack of CCTV in the area, so he asked for the black box video of the parked car nearby and came straight here. Kim excuses Chang's behavior, saying that he only defended himself and that it's not his fault that he's strong enough to knock out all those guys in one blow. Chang is enthusiastic about the news, noting how good with words Kim is. He also thinks that now, with so much evidence, his position in the race is no longer in jeopardy. The cop, seeing all of the evidence, apologizes to Chang, saying he should have listened to him in the first place. Chang gets up from his seat and approaches the cop. He says that he doesn't know the circumstances he is in, but he will remember his face, clearly intending this as a threat. Outside, he puts his hand over Kim, glad that he came to the rescue when he did. Chang hands him a large sum of cash, which Kim immediately pockets, much to his surprise. Kim asks him if this incident happened by accident, but also says all there is to know about him, where he is from, and about the race that is going on with his brother for succession. Chang approaches him, feeling threatened by his words, but Kim calms him down, saying he has undeniable proof for his words. Kim knows all about this because he listened to all of it when he was comatose. He knows the story from start to finish. Kim asks Chang for an hour of his time, promising that it's not something that will harm him and might even save his life. Inside a cafe, Kim shows him the other half of the black box. He didn't show it to the policeman as it wasn't necessary, and he could prove his innocence with just that. But 30 minutes before the incident, 3 men gathered in front of that convenience store. At first glance, they looked like customers, but for 30 minutes they did not move a single inch, as if they were waiting for someone. The moment Chang arrived, they picked a fight, as if asking to be hit. Kim puts his cup down, saying that it's fair to say that Chang himself must be suspicious about this recent series of events. They are happening as if someone intended to, as soon as the succession race commenced, and since then, only bad things have been happening to him. Kim tells him that these were all planned by his brother to undermine him. Chang thinks for a minute. He was suspicious as well, but he didn't think his well-behaved brother would do such a thing. He asks Kim why he is telling him all of this. Kim thinks about the company, Myungjin Construction. It's only acknowledged in the countryside as of now, but based on their solid capital and technology, they would succeed in building apartments. Thanks to the chairman's philosophy that you should never play with houses that people live in, they reduced the margin, increased the completion rate, and later put the name of the company in the big leagues. But in the process, both of the sons disappeared. Chang was the start of the problem, and not long after, an incident that shook the grounds of Daesan occurred, to the point that even Kim, who was suffering from school violence at the time, knew about it. Chang was aiming for the position and did all sorts of things, some of which were discovered by his brother later on. Chang, angry at his discovery, punched him extremely hard, and with one blow, his little brother became permanently disabled. Their father, furious at this squabbling, announced that both of his sons were incompetent, so he wouldn't hand over the company to them. This is causing an uproar. At that point, digging up the two activities of the two sons became a meme of sorts, and thanks to that, Kim was able to trace his memory and find the location of the convenience store. He thinks that, in all honesty, it would be better for Myungjin Construction in the future not to change. The eldest son isn't that evil, but he is incompetent and has a nasty temper, while the second son is a vicious person who does everything regardless of morality to achieve his own goal. But this isn't important to him. To Kim, their usefulness in the matter is more important. What's right or wrong, or what kind of effects this change might cause, isn't his business. Kim says that he will help Chang, to not only take revenge against his brother, but also take the position